I should probably start by saying that this isn't the finished build, it's more so just the first step I take when building in Minecraft, and it does end up looking a lot better eventually. So this is a fairly new technique that I've started doing recently, and it's not some super secret building tip that you've never heard of before. You very may well have. I've known about it for a good long while, but never thought to actually try it out, as it didn't seem like it would help me and would kind of be a waste of time. Well, I could not have been more wrong. Although it's still in the early stages for me personally, I do really think that it may have revolutionized how I build. So I thought I'd make a video to share with you guys and potentially change your lives. As far as building in Minecraft is concerned, I can't promise much more. So the gist of it is, you build whatever you're making out of one block type, which then serves as a blank canvas that you can paint on top of with other blocks. Personally, I go for spruce, as that has a lot of options for different variants. Full blocks, stairs, slabs, trapdoors, fences, you get the idea. Plus, it's quite a nice texture already, so it doesn't look horrendous and ends up putting you off the build before you've even really started. You could even combine two block types such as stone brick and dark oak, for example, then you can use walls as well as everything else. But as long as you've got most options for building blocks, you'll be all good. It also depends on how detailed you like to build, I suppose. Now the main reason why I find this super helpful is because it allows you to focus on the shape and size of the build without having to figure out what blocks are going to go where at the same time. Even though I spend a lot of hours building all sorts of things in Minecraft, the main thing I still struggle with is shape, or just generally what the build is gonna look like. Should this part be tall or short? What kind of roof do I want? Maybe I need an extra addition over here somewhere. All of those sorts of questions are much easier to answer if you're not trying to figure out the blocks that you're going to use simultaneously, on top of everything else you might be thinking about when building in Minecraft. Essentially, you're just building one step at a time instead of constructing it all at once. When you finish creating your blank canvas, you're ready to paint over it and really bring it to life, going from this spruce blob to a lovely finished colourful creation. What I like to do is get an idea of my block palette by laying out some different options next to each other to see what I think goes well. I mess with this for a little while until I have an array of blocks that I want to add into our template here. This process can take some time and a fair amount of going back and forth to try out different blocks. I'd recommend just working on one section of the build first and then move on to the next. Of course, it's going to vary from build to build and your personal style, but not having to try and think of scale, size, dimensions, and all of those other aspects is going to make it a lot less difficult. You can purely focus on the block choices. One extra tip I'd like to share is to do all of this in creative mode, in a separate test world of course. It is a lot easier to build when you have every block in the game in your back pocket ready to be used, not to mention the ability to fly and break blocks instantly too. Now I know some of you may prefer to build fully in survival mode as that's what's most fun for you, and if that's the case, please don't let me stop you. This can still all be done in survival, it just takes a bit longer. After you finish colouring in your build, you may find that there are some more things to do. Maybe you notice one specific part is missing something, perhaps a chimney on the roof, an extra window, some sort of awning outside the door, etc. All of those little details can be added on afterwards. You don't have to exactly stick to the original template. Sometimes you get ideas as you go, and that's great. The purpose of this technique really is to make starting a build easier. It is quite overwhelming having this idea in your head and trying to build it in Minecraft. It doesn't always correlate as you imagined. Alternatively, sometimes wanting to build something in Minecraft but having zero ideas is just as difficult. I'm not saying this is a foolproof method that makes building easier 100% of the time, it's probably not. And it may vary from player to player, working better for some than others. But it has really helped me, so I can definitely recommend you at least give it a go and see if you find it useful.